Good morning. I am Michelle from 59 Investments, and we are here today to present our recommendation on General Mills stock. Today, I'm joined by my colleagues, Adrian, Henley, and Linus. So we will walk you through the firm overview, industry overview, investment thesis, valuation, risk control, and finally, our summary of recommendation. I will hand it over to Linus now.
Thank you, Michelle. General Mills is a multinational food manufacturing company and is one of the largest food companies in the world. As such, General Mills has such a strong brand portfolio, which encompasses popular brands of various food types. Furthermore, its strong financial position, paired with its willingness to invest in R&D, allows for its improvement and creation of its products. One of the long-standing weaknesses of General Mills is its heavy dependency on the North American market for its revenue. Moreover, 10 of their brands account for more than 50% of its net sales. In terms of opportunities, General Mills could address this issue by expanding internationally, which will also allow them to diversify their products when catering to new markets' preferences. A big threat concerning General Mills is the growing consumer preference for healthier, less processed foods. It is also subject to intense competition from its peers to rapidly adopt a more healthy approach. Regarding the pestle analysis for General Mills, politically, there are lots of rules and regulations, and it's important to adhere to these laws and adapt to any changes and forecast any changes so that General Mills gets a head start. In terms of the macroeconomic environment, we believe that since the food products General Mills produces, such as cereals and snacks, are stable goods, they will not be severely impacted by inflation or recessions. There also has to be a consideration in exchange rates as General Mills operates globally. Adapting social cultural trends sees more consumers tend towards healthier snacks and foods, and it's important for General Mills to recognize this to keep its foothold in its market. Furthermore, the ability to adopt new growing technology integrated within its operations allows for them to maintain high standing competitiveness. Regarding legal issues, there just has to be compliance with local and federal regulations so that they don't get imposed a fine. Lastly, there are growing concerns about climate change and increased calls to adopt a more sustainable approach. And there already has been good goals set in place, such as the commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 28% by 2025 from 2010 benchmark.
Thank you, Lawrence. Now we use Porter's Five Force frameworks offers a useful lens to examine the key factors influence the company's strategic positions versus the strength of new talents, the high capital requirements of establishing and produce and fully and distribution new networks and marketing efforts and brand regulations and loyalty and establish company like General Mills. After this, the bargaining power for supply, the General Mills source real materials from various supply, reducing dependence on a single supply. The company may face fluctuation in real material prices due to factors like climate change and geopolitical issues. And the bargaining power buyers, the customers has value choice when it comes to food produce, allow them to switch between the brands easily. And retail also have the power to can demand better pricing and shelf space allocations, and so on. And certain for cyber stews, the customers can choose from a wide array of alternative produce and the fresh and the organic or local produced food. The risk of private label produced by Terriers can be also pretty certain. That is a competitive rivalry on the intense competition for catalog or like national the key factors in the bottom of all market share is including the price, competition, the produce, innovations, and the marketing. The merger and the acquisitions can strengthen position and expand their produce portfolio. In conclusion, General Mills are operating in a high competitive industry with moderate to high levels to strengthen from value force. The company must continuously evolve and adapt to change customers' performance, as well as managing relationships with buyers and competitors to remain successful. However, the established companies has the reputation as a standard sector in 2022 by outperforming the broader market. This means that they were able to withstand the market's downturns and maintain state. However, as we look toward 2023, the customer state-based companies may face challenges that persist for the past year, such as raising input costs and the pressure customers. Also, in contrast, there is also a stronger continuous demand for the sector, increasing annual organic sales and profit. Forecast for General Mills driven by strong demand for its produce in North America. The company's organic net sales also increased in more than its initial forecast. This growth will attribute to increased at-home consumption. Its annual organic sales and profit forecast is a positive sign for the company, indicating that it is performing well in the marketing despite the challenges produced by the economic conditions. The company has also been focusing on produce innovation, stability, and e-commerce to drive growth in its business.
So General Mills has recently been recognized as America's most innovative company by Fortune, ranking first in its industry. One of the ways they have shown innovation is through new product breakthroughs, such as the mini cereal series. This line of bite-sized cereals have been a hit with consumers, and it's a great example of how they constantly look out for ways to innovate and stay ahead in the competition. Another way they're investing is through the Gold Medal Ventures, the company's disruptive innovation and investment arm. So it focuses on identifying emerging trends and investing in startups that has the potential to disrupt food industry. Some of the areas include e-commerce, food alternatives, and sustainability. And in the past few years, they have backed billions into these ventures. Speaking of sustainability, they have also set an ambitious goal to achieve regenerative agriculture across 1 million acres of farmland by 2030, with 2.3 million investment in this initiative. They're also working to support American farmers, which is an important part of the company's commitment to sustainability. Next, over to Henley.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. As you can see from the graph, General Mills leads its competitors in return on equity, which shows that the company can more efficiently monetize its existing assets. The more profitable a company is, the less it depends on debit or financing to fund its growth. Also, General Mills' quick ratio is low compared to its peers, indicating that it doesn't have enough liquid asset to serve its short-term debit. But the company may have good terms with its lenders. A high quick ratio is also not always a good sign, indicating that the company can use a lot of better capital to invest or develop new markets. In a chart below, the profile before interest and tax divided by the enterprise value is to judge whether the stock is overvalued or undervalued. It can be seen from the figure that General Mills is at the second level on the average. When the market assigns a more appropriate value to the enterprise, the stock price and the company's bottom line should climb. So furthermore, in addition to a healthy return on equity, the company's price is relatively stable compared to the wild fluctuations of industry competitors.
So the share price sensitivity is made to accommodate the WACC and terminal growth rate. The WACC and terminal growth rate has an inverse relationship here, and a higher WACC leading to a lower growth rate and vice versa. Several things that has influences the sensitivity includes the fact that the industry is stable and that they're being sensitive to growth and the commodities price fluctuation, particularly for ingredients such as wheat, corn, and soybeans, which are key inputs in many of its products. The volatility of commodity prices can affect their input costs, profit margins, and cash flow, and can increase the risk profile and result in a higher WACC. For instance, if the prices of these commodities increase, they will have to pay more for inputs and lead to lower profit margins and lower free cash flow. In contrast, a higher TGR may indicate that companies expect to grow at a faster rate than previously anticipated and can result in a lower perceived risk. In brief, a high WACC and low growth rate is better to sell, and with low WACC and high growth rate, we buy.
In our valuations, we utilize 3 different approaches: the multiples, dividend discount model, and discounted cash flow model. We place more of an emphasis on multiples and dividend discount models, as we believe that although the discounted cash flow model allows for the most in-depth analysis, it is extremely sensitive to small changes in WACC and terminal growth rate. We believe that General Mills' commitment to a strong, sustainable dividend policy allows for an easier interpretation of the dividend discount model. Therefore, the final weightings were 40% for the multiples and dividend discount models, and discounted cash flow model accounted for the remaining 20%. This allowed us to obtain a target price of $93.39.
Okay, in terms of company risk, General Mills faces these risks. Customer eating habits are changing all the time. They have more and more demand for organic food and plant-based products. At the same time, customers will limit spending during the economic downturn, and the company's profile may be reduced. And at the same time, the competition among peers is already very fierce. Some large retailers will lower price and increase promotional activities to motivate customers to consume, thereby competing with peers. In emerging market, General Mills has limited leverage compared with its rivals. At the same time, it is a high risk in terms of supply chain. Supply of oil and wheat have been under pressure due to the dispute between Russia and Ukraine. Raw material shortage and rising input costs are causing problems in the supply chain, with rising labor, transportation, and packaging costs implying higher input costs. So for risk mitigations, the company developed new products through innovations, mini product, and develop a new brand following the accelerate strategies. In terms of competitors, General Mills should increase its existing market share and expand communication with customers through the media. For supply chain, General Mills can expand its supply chain and reduce dependence on the single supply chain.
Our final recommendation, involving taking into account the various analytical approaches of the industry and the economy as a whole, we suggest that a buy recommendation holds for General Mills, with the target price being $93.39, representing a 7.4 increase from today's market price of $86.95. Thank you for listening to our presentation.